this finds you experiencing God's peace in these challenging times. I think it would be an understatement to say that the news we wake up to each day is pretty negative. Every day we're hearing high numbers of coronavirus cases, and sadly, we're seeing increasing numbers of deaths being reported. We also find ourselves living with restrictions that we could never have imagined. And Victoria is currently in a state of disaster for the second time this year. These are desperate times, and I encourage you to remain faithful in prayer, especially for the vulnerable, those in aged care, and particularly for BAP care as they deal with the challenges in this area, for health and medical workers, and the many affected by the loss of employment. More broadly, we continue to pray for the effects of the pandemic right across the world. I also want to mention the importance of acknowledging our feelings and emotions during this crisis. This is a long haul, and there are many losses and things outside of our control. As pastors and church leaders caring for our church communities, vicarious grief or trauma can creep in even when we think we're coping okay. So please be sure to have supportive people around you and good practices in place to help sustain you. I want to assure you of my prayers and support and those of our BUV Support Hub staff team. We also have Baptists right around the country praying for Victoria. Just last week, our BUV leadership team had leaders from the Baptist offices in New South Wales and the ACT and South Australia join us for prayer on Zoom for the situation here in Melbourne and Victoria. It's encouraging to know that our broader Baptist family is standing with us at this time. Can I remind you that our BUV website is constantly being updated with the latest government advice, so please use that as a go-to place for current information. As always, our BUV Support Hub staff are here for you and are contactable by phone, email, or online meetings. Our comms and finance teams are available to help you interpret the government restrictions, to provide resources or answers to your questions. Staff from our pastoral support, church health and mission catalyst teams are available to preach via Zoom if that would be helpful for you. We are committed to continuing the provision of resources to help you support your congregations during this time, and have now added a sermon and worship area to our COVID-19 online resources. Content will be regularly uploaded to this area, and if you would like to share any of your own resources to add to this section, we would be glad to have those. Just email our comms team with a short blurb of the sermon or worship song and a link to where it can be found. By doing this, you'll be providing us with the copyright permission. In the midst of this crisis, I've been asking myself, what is my motivation to stay positive, to keep purposeful as I go about my life? And as I've wrestled with this question, I come back to the idea that as we go through this crisis, I believe that we can learn, that we can adapt, that we can innovate and be creative. And if we continue to do these things, then we will emerge stronger on the other side. This crisis will pass. We will get through this together, and ultimately, I believe because of our experiences and learnings, we'll be stronger in our leadership, stronger in our unity with one another, and I think our Baptist movement will be more resilient. I think we'll be more compassionate and empathetic, more loving and more caring for the world we live in. I believe this. What we're experiencing today is not the end of the story. It's part of the story, but it's not the end of the story. And I'm confident that God will cause us to flourish in our lives and ministry, and as a union of churches, as we abide in Him and trust His purposes for our future. May God bless you. Bye for now.